for inviting me for this very important discussion on China. And it encompasses a lot many issues, but first I must my salutations to Mr. Sikri and of course our General Secretary Mr. Ramlalji, Shri Tarun Vijayji, of course, who is been the crusader on this field, and of course Vishakha Pathakji and Sudhir Pathakji, and we have we have with us foreign editor of Hindustan Times, Mr. Parmit Pal Chaudhary. I'll make a very brief presentation because it has got many issues in it, but that would require a different platform and a different occasion. But since Tarunji very specifically mentioned that since our team has been visiting, and most of the time, this was of course thought by the national president that there should be a team visiting ground zero on what is actually happening on the China front. This was an extensive exercise which was taken up, and we spent about a couple of months across 1.5 years trying to scale these regions. And most of these regions where we visited have been occasionally been visited by some of the journalists. Many such places have not been visited by any civilian whatsoever. The most astounding aspect was whenever we planned these visits, there was a very great resistance from the army and the Ministry of Home Affairs. And we really did not understand, and most of the time we were discouraged in going ahead and visiting these areas. But we really struggled very hard, and we ultimately put our foot down on most of the occasions that we are going, whether you allow us to enter that region or not. And the facts which we have ascertained is much more possibly at what we actually see. And since these are areas which are prohibited for a common man to enter, and these are not small areas of 50 kilometers or 100 kilometers. These areas are thousands and thousands of square kilometers. Those who are in the armed forces would say, of course, these are thousands of square kilometers and unmanned, unfenced, undemarcated. And because we have divided this entire thing into 3 parts, because India and China, of course, has a boundary of around, in all the 3 sectors, eastern, middle and western sector, which is approximately around 4,056 kilometers. So there are 3 distinct parts. One is Sikkim, which of course, the border has been defined by the Anglo-Chinese Convention of 1890. There is the Burma and Arunachal Pradesh, which is a NEFA by the McMahon Line ratified in 1913 and 14, and of course, the western sector. Chinese, most of the time when we are going for negotiations, they don't actually accept the McMahon Line. They say it was a Britishers' ploy to put on us, and we were made to agree for it, and they are still not in agreement to that. And China didn't accept the McMahon Line for a very long. It still doesn't accept, to say, and claims about 94,000 square kilometer in the Arunachal Pradesh and Sikkim region. That's a land which they still claim that belongs to them. In the middle region, which is the Spiti Valley, the Garhwal, and which is the Ganga watershed, which demarcates which is the traditional boundary. And here also the China, which claims a smaller sector, which is about 1,300 square kilometers. And the western sector, of course, of the Aksai chain and the Ladakh region, where they have this Demchok and Ennis Pass. So these are the areas which have been mainly considered. And Ladakh per se was a part of the region, was in possession of the Ladakhi kings, which went of course later the Chinese had an occupation on that. And this region is very important for China, and they're not ready to cede anything there because of Tibet. And Tibet remains a very sensitive aspect to it. Post 1962 war, we lost about 20,000 square kilometers in Arunachal Pradesh. We lost another 38,000 square kilometers in Ladakh region, and so forth. So, and even Pakistan ceded about 5,000 square kilometers to China in the POK region. And since 1981, there have been talks, but nothing very substantive has taken place. While in Tibet, now, why? Because there are many more issues. This is just a fact, and I'll just quickly go through it so that we can at least have an idea of what we were actually trying to do. And I have to give credit to this gentleman who is about 80-year-old, but he had the highest energy to travel at places which I also refused to go. And I would give up, and I would be with oxygen, and but he would still continue, and it's Mr. Bhagat Singh Koshari. We had other members of the team, of course. This was me and then few other members of Tapir Gaw and Irbal Singh. Now, as I said, we have divided into three sectors, the disputed area, which forms into the three sectors, the eastern sector, the middle sector, and the western sector. The first leg was in eastern sector of Arunachal Pradesh, and route to Mumla, of course, and that day, of course, it took us, unfortunately, that was one point of the time when there were a lot of disturbance because of, there was a hurricane, there was, so we were all stuck up and cut off, and finally the army came to our rescue, and we could not cross because we were cut off from both the directions. It took about 8 days they took us about 8 days to retrieve us from there. At this point of time, we went to a particular village. This is a village headman, and what he had to speak, possibly no journalist would have ever recorded. And there was anger in this man. They were saying that we find the Chinese coming in and out, and we find the Chinese coming in and out, and perceptibly, for whatsoever reason, he had a lot of anguish. So we recorded a lot of his statements. There's a whole draft of what he had to say. And he was a sincere Indian. He wanted to identify himself with India and say that though so that was one aspect, and we recorded in great details what he wanted. All these passes and discussions which took place with the army commanders and all, they were very kind. They finally, the Ministry of Defence agreed to give assistance to us to cross those points which generally is not accessed by civilians, even members of parliament. I do not know about the parliamentary standing committees. Parliamentary standing committees are on a trip which are generally planned, and they are shown what they actually want to see. But we wanted to go to areas which were not accessible altogether. Now, the western sector, which comprises of Aksai Chin, Lankala, Niarju Scream, Demchok, and all these places which, and as I've said, that 38,000 square kilometers of the Indian territory under Chinese occupation about this. Demchok was a place which we visited, and Demchok has been in news for a very long time in the western sector. Now, Demchok is a place which is still, we say we are in possession, and in Demchok there was a construction under Narega which was taking place. The Chinese walked in and said that you can't do it. And the people come on this side and they speak about it. And there were many people whom we recorded saying that this is our land, this is India's land, and they somehow want to be called as true Indians. And you will find many such instances when we visited Neoma, Kyul, Demchok. Demchok was one aspect where we had a very categorical expression of what was happening there on the border. They took us to a small place from where we could see the activity. They also showed us the road which was constructed to a point where the Chinese PLA army walked up and stopped it. So these were just observations. On the western sector, this is the map which shows the Chinese actual occupation of our area and our claims. So it's about a huge area which we claim, but they have actually walked into this portion, and this is a verified map, and the whole area which you see, which we claim, is actually in Chinese possession and occupation. They're actually holding on, and we come down to this southernmost tip, which is Demchok, and where we see visible action of the Chinese, where they have actually taken over those portions. We had similar discussions with the Ladakh Corps Commander, and we also had a lot of discussions with the Ladakh Union Territory Front, who are people traveled all the way 400 kilometers, 300 kilometers, and walked up to tell what they were witnessing and facing in this area. Of course, this is the most difficult place because there is no greenery, there is no oxygen. Arunachal is different, other places are different. But Ladakh possibly, and further up in Ladakh, is almost an impossible situation because there is absolutely no greenery, no oxygen, and the oxygen level is so low that people like us who are generally okay and sporty, we feel a lot of problems. And we had a lot of problems because acclimatization, yes, we have spent about a week there, but still it was almost difficult to cross across. So we almost had to abandon or as in Neoma, the oxygen level is just 4%, which is very difficult for individuals to acclimatize. Now, this picture we took, this is supposed to be a strategic Indian road on that border. We struggled this is the strategic road. If you have to cross across those mountains and see, if you have a visual, you will not believe what roads exist across that mountains. And this is about 400 kilometers up, down, in the Ladakh region, where it is all desert. This is all desert, and this is a strategic road. They say it's the most important road, unconstructed, heavy movement of army is on there, but it doesn't happen. They say it doesn't happen, it has not happened for 64 years. One really does not know when will it happen. And all the people, all the men who came to and talked to us, they said, sir, when we go grazing across the mountains, we see beautiful roads. There's one stretch of roads which is perfect for mobilization, it is well carpeted. So these are the observations which we kept on making. Zero vegetation, of course, that is the typical feature, and there is no, everyone says there is a border, there is a line of actual control. It is all a perception, and pardon me, we always used to argue with the officers of the army or officers of, where is the border? They would say this is the border. They would say this is the border. So, but actually what is the border was very difficult to identify because there is no demarcation, and they say that river is a border or a mountain is a border. But those maps are basically a possession of the Indian Army or maybe ITBP or maybe SSB or whoever is manning that. But border in these regions for thousands of kilometers is very difficult to identify, and it's a very difficult task. And there is no mechanism whatsoever to identify the real border. And that is why when their grazers come in, or for that matter, when the PLA patrol walks in, they leave behind lot of the cans, bottles, as if that if there is a dispute, they can prove that this belongs to us. So these are, and even our army jawans, when they walk into their territory, they leave behind a lot of garbage behind. So that becomes at some point of time when investigation or situation, maybe 100 years down the line, these things could be. So this is a very funny thing, but it happens there. This village is a village. It was a pitiable stage, and at about 16,000 feet. No political delegation, no MLA, MP for its name had ever visited this village.